Back on MorningLine, final segment with Professor John Weil from MTSU, just talking some of the politics and what we see happening right now. It is election season. If you didn't know that, watch TV, you'll see all the commercials. They're all over the place. We got Bruce on the horn. Let's take him. He waited through the break. Bruce, good morning. Hi, Bruce.
Nick, how are you, buddy?
Good. What's on your mind?
I just got two comments.
Okay.
Number one, the Republicans, they can do away with their morals, when they put Trump in as president. And I'm all for the red, white, and blue, but don't do that with me after I've seen them doing what they done up there at the Capitol building, buddy.
Yeah, so that kind of hit home for you. Are you like that? I was wondering, do you typically vote Democratic or Republican, or do you go back and forth?
Well, in the primaries this time, I voted for some Republicans, but I'm normally Democrat.
Okay,
but,
yeah. Fair. Look, I'll be honest, I won't go into specifics, but I voted in my lifetime for candidates on either side. There have been times I voted Republican. There have been times I've voted Democrat. As I said, I'm kind of like Bruce, Professor, as I watched these hearings on what happened January 6th, and it was an insurrection, absolutely no doubt about it. It was not some little peaceful gathering that got out of hand. That's crap. But I mean, like I said, I would be disturbed by what I'm hearing, whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat, whether it was Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, any of those. I don't care who it is. In there, if I'm hearing that the person who was president was involved with any of what I've heard in January 6th, which I found very credible because it all involves their closest staffers, that would disturb me. And I don't understand how there are people out there that just don't pay attention, either don't believe it, just write it off, they don't care. That's what just worries me the most. Give me something I can hang my hat on that I shouldn't just say, to heck with this. The people in this country are just out of their gourd.
Yeah, a lot of the Constitution, the words are not in the document, but a lot of the Constitution is about fair play. You set up procedures, you have three branches of government, you have federalism, you have elections, and you sort of assume that, we're going to go by a majority rule with minority rights. And when they seem just to be utterly abandoned, it is great cause for, not for one party or the other, but for the nation as a whole.
Yeah, and I don't know if, again, though, we don't want to buy too much in. We're going to see the results coming down later today from these other races from yesterday, as they'll be, finally get all the tallies in. And then we've got, the vote tomorrow. What would you say? I mean, how much should be taken away from this? And then stepping forward 90 days from now with whatever the results are from the midterms, again, you say take these with a grain of salt. I mean, we're in different times than ever before. But the same rule applies. It can change so quickly. You don't want to buy too much into what you see. You may say, hey, the Republicans, they're rolling, or the Democrats held serve. Just don't take too much of that.
I think what we're seeing is we're seeing that Trump still seems to hold a fair amount of power within the Republican Party. That may or may not last. Typically, when we look forward to 90 days from now, almost always the president in power loses seats in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. And I think that's likely to happen again if it were not. If the Democrats maintain the majority that they have and maybe increase, then that would be a sure sign that Trump is a losing candidate to continue with. But again, we got 90 days, a little over 90 days to go.
And do you think, I know it's way ahead and you just don't know health age issues, but I mean, you think it's possible it's another Biden-Trump presidential race?
I think it's possible. I personally don't think Trump is going to be renominated. And again, Biden, I think, depends so much on his health. But, that's the beauty maybe of politics,
yeah.
and the discouraging part is you don't know it. It's difficult to predict the future. A lot easier to study history than it is to say what's going to happen 2 years or 4 years from now.
Yeah, it is interesting. After President Trump, former President Trump left office, I thought at this point, look, he did it. He became president. And I thought he would just kind of ride off into the sunset, but he does love the attention. He loves the power that comes with it.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, say what you will about him. Again, you can get mad at him if you don't agree with his policies, but it's the people who elected him. He knows what he's doing. The man, his decisions, he's clever. And he said this. He said, you know what? I could shoot someone in the street, famously, And people that vote for me aren't going to care. And he was dead on right.
The Greeks would warn us that when Icarus flew too close to the sun, the wax melted and he fell.
Yeah.
The Bible says great pride cometh before a fall. And so who knows?
Yeah, we will see. Hey, Professor, listen, I really appreciate you coming on today, talking about all this. We'll talk more. We've got more coming down the pike. Have classes started there yet? When do classes start?
No, we got 2 or 3 weeks of reprieve here, but we're gearing back. In fact, we have a graduation this Saturday
from the summer school. From summer school,
going to be a hot one, but yes.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, yeah, hopefully graduation goes well, and then the new school year starts. As you know, high schools start. They're in Rutherford County, I think, on Friday, so it's getting going.
Yes.
Well, listen, appreciate you coming on,
Yes.
and we'll talk to you again sometime soon, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you, my friend. We're going to take a break, come back with a programming note for you right after this. Stay with us.